Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome, it's your girl, the Oracle of Hope. Okay, tuning in with the vibes. I am at the Village Festival. It's more like a retreat than a festival. It's about 100 people, but it's juicy, it's community, it's heart-centered, it's loving, and it's all the beautiful things that we wish, I wish, you wish from these spaces of embodied community, of community living. I definitely, in terms of like community living for me, like I want my own house and I want like community nearby, but I feel like at this point in time my truth is I don't really want to live with people, but I'd like them next door, you know, like if all my friends like lived on the same street, that would be incredible. That's like the goal, or like at least the same neighborhood or like nearby, so that like within like 5 to 15 minutes like friends are nearby, people are nearby, so that things are accessible. So that's the vision, that's the goal. Yeah, but I didn't actually come on to speak about that. I came on to speak about love and being heart-centered and how challenging that can be in everyday life if there are not many mirrors of love everywhere. I love attending these festivals because there's so many mirrors of love, of acceptance, of all the beautiful, delicious, wonderful things, of beauty. And I come into these spaces and I can feel so centered in my heart, so grounded in my body, so connected inwards, so connected to everybody else, because everybody is on that frequency of love, of doing the inner work, of on the soul, the spiritual healing, spiritual journey, of the soul's journey. And then, you know, you can go home and it can feel like people are in fear, they're in judgment, they're in all of these things, and it can be challenging to stay rooted in love when all the mirrors are saying judgment, ego, fear, defense, all these expressions rooted in fear. Yeah, and I just wanted to honor that, actually, like, yeah, like name that and bring that to light of, yeah, it's challenging. So hats off to everybody who comes to these festivals and feels the expansion of the joy, of the bliss, of the playfulness, of the healing, of the deep sadness, of the grief, of the shame, of the sorrow, of feeling it all and knowing it's all welcome and knowing that it's all held in community. And then going home and feeling maybe a bit disconnected or a bit closed off because that same reality is not reflected back. Yeah. The truth that I've come into more recently is those who engage in these festivals, in these spaces, we are the light bearers. We carry the torch of this way of living to integrate these back into our spaces of where we live, of where we call home for now or for whenever. How can we integrate more of this community-based living? How can we be the trailblazer, the way shower, the path walker for others to follow, for those to resonate, to learn from us, so we can lead the way of what we want to see more of? How can we make this way of community festival living our reality all year round? And how can we have more anchors throughout the year to embody more of that frequency, to keep us nourished and in tune and eyes focused on the goals, on what we are creating, so that we're constantly tapped in, tuned in, turned on to these frequencies, so that we can anchor in them in abundance, so that when we go to our spaces to share this abundance, to pave these new ways, we can be strong, firm, consistent, confident anchors of this truth. Talking of truth, some things again holding that compassion and grace for like coming into these spaces and having so much clarity around so many things. You feel so clear, it's so easy to tune in, it's so easy to listen in, and then going home and maybe it not being so easy to tune in, maybe it not being so easy to connect in and listen and have access to that same clarity. Like honoring that process. And that's the contraction after the expansion. And then our work becomes integration. How we can make practices, make time, make ritual, make moments of presence to embody that same frequency, to bring in that same energy, to be that for ourselves first, so that we can then be that for others. How can I be that safe space of embodying that festival frequency, that retreat frequency, just for me in this moment, just for me? How can I be that for myself right now? Is there anything I can do to bring back those memories, those feelings, so that I can be that anchor for myself? And is there any communities that I can lean into to harness those frequencies, to anchor that in even more? Can I create any community? Can I bring any people together, whether in person, online, to anchor those frequencies, to make it easier for ourselves? We are an independent? We're an interconnected species. We rely on each other, and that's not from a space of codependency. There's a fine line between being codependent and being interdependent, allowing your needs to be met by community as well, and not also being hyper independent and meeting all of your needs. Because yes, you can, of course you can. You're a strong, independent, amazing soul. But how can you let somebody else tend to your needs and meet some of your needs in a way that would feel delicious and gorgeous to receive? Because if you're like me, you know the gift of giving. So can you give that gift of giving to somebody else so that you can receive? So yeah, that feels like my message for today. Thank you for tuning in. Drop me a like, a comment, and follow me for more. I'm going to do a little love heart. Dun 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 dun. And maybe send this to some of your festival friends, your retreat friends, as a gentle reminder, because these spaces are gorgeous, and let's harness that frequency in more into our daily lives so that we can all thrive all year round, not just in the summer, not just when we're around certain communities or certain people. How can we be the anchor of that, be the frequency bearer of that way of living, that reality, so that people just naturally meet us in that in our day to day, because it's the small moments that count. It's the everyday that counts. Lots of love you guys. Thanks for being part of my community, my tribe.